What if I told you that becoming someone's favorite person has nothing to do with being the funniest, smartest, or most attractive person in the room? Most of us think we need some kind of dazzling, magnetic personality to be memorable. We feel this pressure to tell the best stories, have the sharpest wit, or casually drop our most impressive accomplishments. But that's not just wrong. It's backward. There's a simple cheat code, a 5-minute framework built on emotional intelligence. It can make you unforgettable to pretty much everyone you meet. It works by making people feel completely and totally seen, creating a powerful bond in just minutes. If you want the secret to becoming the person everyone loves talking to, you're in the right place. The problem: we're all drowning in distraction. Let's be honest, in most conversations, people aren't really listening. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. They're busy cooking up their response, figuring out how to connect your story back to their story, or trying to think of something impressive to say next. This is the fundamental mistake we all make. We spend so much energy trying to be interesting that we forget the real key to connection is to be interested. This has created an invisible epidemic of loneliness. People are talking, but nobody actually feels heard. You share a little piece of yourself, only to be met by someone who's just waiting to hijack the conversation. It leaves you feeling overlooked, unimportant, and alone, even in a crowded room. But what if you could be the one person who breaks that cycle? What if you could become a haven in a world of noise? The framework I'm about to share isn't about manipulation or social hacking. It's about using the core of emotional intelligence to give people the one thing they crave most, the feeling of being truly understood. This is a skill, and like any skill, you can learn it. It's just 3 simple steps. The framework. Step 1. The spotlight flip. The first step is what I call the spotlight flip. In every conversation, there's an invisible spotlight. Most people are in a constant tug of war to keep that spotlight pointed at themselves, their day, their problems, their opinions. The spotlight flip is the simple, conscious decision to grab that light and shine it directly on the other person. This is way more than just letting them talk. It's about actively making them the main event. Why does this work so well? Because every single person is the undisputed world expert on one subject, themselves. By turning the spotlight on them, you invite them to talk about their absolute favorite topic. You make them feel important because you're treating them as if they are. To pull this off, you need to master the open-ended question. These are questions that can't be answered with a yes or no. Instead of, "Did you have a good day?" Try, "What was the most interesting part of your day?" Instead of, "Do you like your job?" ask, "What's one thing that surprised you about the work you do?" These questions are invitations. They send a clear signal. I'm not just making small talk. I genuinely want to know you. Now here's the critical part of the spotlight flip. You have to resist the urge to immediately relate everything back to yourself. When they tell you about their awful day, your first instinct is probably to jump in with, "Oh, I totally get it. Let me tell you what my boss did the other day." Don't. Not yet. Keep that spotlight locked on them. Your story can wait. For now, their story is the only one that matters. This simple act of setting your ego aside is incredibly rare, and it's the foundation for any powerful connection. The framework. Step 2. The echo technique. Okay, so the spotlight is on them and they're opening up. Now it's time for step 2, the echo technique. This is the core of active listening, and honestly, it's a communication superpower. The echo technique isn't just hearing words, it's about understanding the feeling behind the words and then reflecting that back. It's a 2-part move, paraphrasing and labeling. First up, paraphrasing. After they've shared something, you gently summarize their point in your own words. It might sound like, "So, if I'm getting this right, you felt like all the responsibility was on your shoulders, but none of the credit." Or, "It sounds like you're pumped for the project, but also a little worried about that deadline." See the phrasing? "If I'm getting this right," Or it sounds like you're showing them you're trying to understand, not just mimicking. This does something almost magical. It proves you were listening. It makes them feel validated because you didn't just hear the words, you got the meaning. The second part of the echo is labeling their emotions. This is where you listen for the feeling simmering under the story and gently name it. For example, you might say, "Wow, that sounds incredibly frustrating." Or, "I can see why you'd feel really proud of that." When you validate someone's feelings, you're telling them that their emotional reaction is legitimate. You're giving them permission to feel how they feel. In a world that constantly tells us to bottle things up, having someone say, "I get it, and it's okay to feel that way," creates a profound sense of safety and trust. The echo technique isn't about being a parrot. It's about being a mirror, reflecting their own thoughts and feelings back so they can feel truly seen. The framework. Step 3, the unspoken question. This third and final step is the most powerful. I call it the unspoken question. While the echo technique is about what a person is saying, this step is about what they are not saying. See, in every conversation, people are communicating on 2 channels. The factual channel, the story, the events, the details, and the emotional channel, the hopes, fears, and needs hiding underneath. The unspoken question you need to constantly ask yourself is this: what is the emotion this person is really trying to share with me right now? Deep listening is about tuning your ear to these unspoken feelings. It's noticing the tiny hesitation in their voice, the shift in their body language, or the pause before they answer. These are all clues to the emotional truth. For example, your coworker might be complaining about a tight deadline. The words are about the deadline, but the unspoken emotion might be a fear of failure or a feeling of being completely overwhelmed. Someone using this step doesn't just respond to the words, they respond to the emotion. Instead of saying, "Yeah, that deadline sounds tough," they might try, "It sounds like you're under a ton of pressure. Are you feeling like you're in this alone?" This creates a moment of pure empathy. Empathy isn't about fixing someone's problem, it's about connecting with the feeling behind the problem. When you address the unspoken emotion, you show that you're tuned into them on a much deeper level. You're moving past small talk and connecting with their authentic self. This is the pinnacle of emotional intelligence. Like, you're showing someone that you see not just the polished, curated version of them, but the real, vulnerable person underneath. You're creating a space where they can just be themselves without judgment. And that is the rarest gift you can give. As Maya Angelou famously said, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. If this framework for deeper connection resonates with you and you want more practical ways to transform your relationships with emotional intelligence, go ahead and subscribe. We explore this stuff every week, and I'd love for you to be part of the conversation. So, there you have it, the 3-step framework to become anyone's favorite person in 5 minutes. First, the spotlight flip, make them the star. Get curious and ask questions that prove you're actually interested. Second, the echo technique, be a mirror, not a parrot. Reflect their words and their feelings to show them they've been heard. And third, the unspoken question. Listen to the music beneath the words. Connect with their emotional truth to build real empathy. The best part is, this doesn't require you to change who you are. It doesn't ask you to be funnier or more outgoing. It just asks you to be more present, more curious, and more empathetic. This isn't about performing, it's about connecting. The next time you're talking to someone, just try it. For 5 minutes, set your own agenda aside. Flip the spotlight, echo what you hear, and listen for the unspoken feelings. You'll be amazed at how fast you can build a meaningful connection. You will make that person feel seen and valued in a way that is all too rare. The secret to being unforgettable isn't a trick. It's the genuine gift of your full attention. It's the ultimate cheat code to connection. And now it's yours.